Good morning, everyone. So my name is Tucker Adkins, and I'm here with Maya, Isaac, Ike, and Kate, and today we're going to be presenting on Glossier. So a brief overview of the flow of our presentation. First, we'll start with an introduction. Then we'll examine the media programs and distribution strategy options that the company has. And finally, we'll move into our recommendation for Glossier. So who is Glossier? Glossier was created to break the traditional homogeneous standards within the beauty industry. They're a direct to customer digital brand curated specifically to fulfill the desires of their community. Some adjectives to describe the brands are simple, minimalistic, diverse, and inclusive. Looking at Glossier's customers as individuals, they're 18 to 35-year-olds who follow and engage with social media trends. They value transparency and individualism. As a community, Glossier thrives off the statement that anyone can be a Glossier girl. That they value having influence and a say in the products that they use, and they have a sense of pride in the success of Glossier. So next, we're going to introduce you to the case. Until 2018, most of Glossier's growth had come organically through online owned and earned media. As Glossier looked towards the future, the company needed to determine how the brand would enter into its next phase of growth. Glossier's founders are considering expanding their marketing strategies with the use of paid media as well as a new presence of physical distribution methods.
So first, we're going to talk about media programs. So Glossier is considering a paid media strategy. So in the past, the brand aimed to be social media friendly, taking a very inclusive approach to beauty. Now they're considering transformation from an owned and earned media model to paid media. And they're evaluating this through 4 proposals, which are peer-to-peer sales representative program, professional influencer program, a paid media plan, and customer loyalty program.
So the first media program we're going to talk about is the peer-to-peer sales representative program. And this is a strategy to convert brand enthusiasts into paid salespeople for Glossier. These reps would be paid by content that gets consumer attention each time they refer a consumer and each time they assist a sale. So some ways that this supports Glossier's ability to address consumer needs is that it is authentic, owned, and spread content. And this content is more organic and authentic than any brand created content could be because it's directly from consumer to consumer. This also fosters personal connections between Glossier's community as consumers are referring these products to other people just like them. Lastly, it creates a credible community merging the brand side and the consumer base, which is known as vertical integration. Some of the cons and the threats include it is unpredictable. Only a quarter of reps were creating regular content and generating less than 25 orders, and there's a high turnover rate. So this made it difficult to create salespeople versus inspiring friends. Next, we're going to talk about professional influencers. So this is an idea that Glossier has of hiring professional influencers such as makeup artists, beauty content creators, YouTubers, etc., where they would be paid per post, click, view, or sale. So this would allow them to have stealth marketing as these influencers can kind of hide products in their regular types of videos. That would help an organic way of pushing Glossier's content. And then they would also be able to touch a wide consumer base as these influencers have many different types of loyal followers. Some threats of this idea would be that big influencers are often expensive, and also there's a potential for it to be inauthentic or inorganic if it is a paid promotion or a sponsored post.
The next strategy we're going to be looking at is paid media spending. And so this strategy would be to spend more money on paid media sources to increase brand impressions. And the company is currently spending 20% of its revenue on marketing. And so this would just increase that a little bit and we began experimenting with paid social, paid search, outdoor advertising, and direct mail. And some support of paid media spending would be you can reach out to a lot more consumers. Consumers that are not currently in the demographic of customers may gain more interest in the company. Next, you can also control the message better. Rather than relying on customers to control the narrative, Glossier is able to create the narrative that they want. And lastly, the persuasion technique of commitment. The more engagement customers have with the company, they're more likely to stick with Glossier. Some threats to paid media spending, however, are paid media can be costly and may not be the best use of the capital that we've received. Also, paid media
needs constant updates. And so to keep the advertising fresh, paid media is not just a one-time investment and requires constant new content being released, leading to even more costs. And lastly, paid media might be going against the brand. Glossier prides itself on being natural and being built around the consumer, and paid media may not be seen that way. Another thing is a customer loyalty program. And so contemplating a customer loyalty program where our customers can earn discounts, free samples, early access to products, and invites to special events. And the goal of this is to be return on investment positive. And so we were looking to increase customer lifetime value. Also, through this, people can refer friends, and so that adds consumers to the company. And also the persuasion technique of reciprocity. So humans are more likely to feel the need to reciprocate kind gestures, such as discounts, deals, or samples, with their own kind gesture of buying our product. Unfortunately, another threat is this is also costly to maintain and requires a lot of advertising to keep it going. It can be profit eating. So if not managed correctly, customers can take advantage. And lastly, something like this, if it's not properly ran, there's problems and technical difficulties can lead to upsetting customers, which is never good.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about distribution strategy options. So Glossier is considering moving from digital to physical distribution. So Glossier considered strengths and weaknesses of physical retail and community investments, and also technological investments. So this included retail showrooms, pop-ups, and wholesaling to retail. And so they saw that this in-person opportunity really bridged this try-on gap and the trust gap that is often created in e-commerce, especially within the beauty industry, where customers having these touch point opportunities with a product is incredibly important. So first, evaluating retail showrooms. So Glossier launched their first retail showroom in Soho in 2016, and these showrooms were meant to be temporary. They were meant to do more than just sell the product. Weiss was really passionate about this. She wanted to create an interactive experience similar to when they launched the Glossier You fragrance. They had an interactive experience that was inspired by theater and the arts. So in support of these showrooms, they saw higher conversion rates. They also saw greater connection enabled by this in-store experience where customers were able to try on the product, connect with others, and create user-generated content that promotes Glossier. The downsides of this option are the high cost of physical retail. Also, these showrooms were meant to be temporary. So what they saw was when they created a showroom, their goal was for customers to have that initial touch point with the makeup and then move to becoming like an online shopper. However, they saw that only 30% of in-store shoppers moved online, and customers that desired to shop in person remained in-person shoppers. And then again, wanting to create this creative, interactive experience that Weiss was passionate about instead of this stagnant kind of in-store model.
Next, we're going to be looking at the pop-up option that y'all have already experimented with. And so with this option, we're looking at art-inspired, interactive, unique experiences that are bringing depth and dimension to your brand in order to further engage customers and give them an experience that they could not get with any other makeup brand. This is a limited time opportunity, and it's in person, so it brings consumers from the online ecosystem you're creating and bridges the gap into being an in-person opportunity for small audiences. And because of the fact that these are small audiences, one threat for these pop-ups is that there could be intra-community content because of the fact that people could complain about these pop-ups not being available in their area. Additionally, there is unreliable customer conversion because of the fact that you can't tell which customers are moving into the online space based off of their interaction in person. Additionally, this is a resource-intensive commitment because of the fact that there would be a lot of creativity required for thinking of new ideas for pop-ups, keeping the creativity alive, keeping the experience unique for your consumers. But with regards to the pros of pop-ups, we can look at the fact that you are creating a unique experience, which you highly value at Glossier. Additionally, there is more brand exposure, not just to people who are already your customers, but to people who could be on the street and pass by the pop-up and just be amazed at the spectacle y'all are putting on. Additionally, there is the scarcity aspect, which Robert Cialdini says is an important aspect of persuasion, because of the fact that it's limited in availability. It would lead people to want to attend these events more. Next up, it would connect consumers to each other through this unique experience, which is what you prize at Glossier. And it would also make the consumers, it would connect them more to the Glossier brand as well. And it would also differentiate your brand from other makeup brands. Next up, we're going to look at the retail option, the wholesale retailing through opportunities like Sephora. And so when we look at retailing through companies like Sephora, some of the mega pros are that you would drastically increase your revenue in a short amount of time. Additionally, it would be easier for you to reach customers, and it would expand your target market to those who prioritize in-person shopping. Additionally, it would minimize the limited resources of time and money that both you as a brand are using, as well as customers, because there would be less legwork to interact with the brand. The cons to this are that you would be giving up 40 to 50% of your margin. It would also potentially take away from your brand's uniqueness because of the ease of access to it. And there would be questionable customer loyalty and customer lifetime value because of the fact that customers would not have to put in that extra work to find your brand and interact with it through the Into the Gloss blog. Additionally, people are increasingly shopping online these days, so it could actually be a detriment to start investing in in-person facilities now. Next up, Tucker and Maya are going to talk to you about our recommendation.
After evaluating the pros and cons of each of the paid media and physical strategies, our group determined that the best option for Glossier is to implement the retail distribution by doing an exclusive brand partnership at Sephora. Our aim is to increase initial consumer touch points that we believe to be necessary for the beauty industry. Because Sephora is widely known as a retailer in the beauty industry, but also still maintains a luxury and exclusive feel, consumers consider Sephora employees to be beauty experts. This appeals to the persuasion tactic of authority because consumers desire trust and credibility from a brand. Similar to how Glossier has built an online community, Sephora also builds community around their store through rewards and other tactics. Having this retail touchpoint at Sephora will maximize consumer acquisition and create customer lifetime value, while allowing in-person shoppers to become initially exposed to Glossier products.
While authority is an important persuasion tactic, it is important that Glossier products in Sephora stores also appeal to the tactic of scarcity. To do this, we recommend that Glossier release only a limited product line at Sephora. This will allow the company to test the market of in-person shoppers. And more importantly, this will encourage in-person shoppers that may not be familiar with Glossier to explore the full product offerings online after they try and hopefully love their Glossier experience. This can then push the consumers to Glossier's website and develop a connection directly with the brand itself. We also wanted to find creative ways to bridge the in-person and digital connection of Glossier's products in Sephora by putting QR codes on the packaging to go to a unique loyalty program with Glossier and Sephora, or exclusive access to an online site. Thank you so much, and that is the end of our presentation.